is with a joyful heart and with so much pride in you all that I am here to talk with you and share some thoughts with you on this momentous day. For you have taken a giant leap forward on your spiritual path to realizing and becoming and walking in your own God energy. The joy that we feel is overwhelming because so many people, as you were just discussing, live their lives with their feet stuck in the mud in a certain belief system. And to state it clearly, it's not mud, it's cement. They cannot move forward. They cannot take a step. They cannot change anything that they have not been taught from their childhood and from their religious leaders. And they repeat the same thing over and over again, year in, year out, the same recycled stuff again and again. You, my friends, are not stuck in that trap, for you have remained flexible. And as the vibrations of the earth have changed and the teachings are evolving, you are evolving with them, and you are keeping up to date with the changes, and you are making the changes, and you are becoming more and more spiritual leaders and spiritual way showers that we desire you to be, because you are not stuck in one certain pattern. You are open to listening to a new perception, even though some of these teachings are just a slight tweaking of what you had learned before. That tweak opens the door wide and wider and wider for you to absorb it. And so you can actually become the divine energy that you are destined to be, that you were created to be, but you do not live your life. Most people, most humans do not live their lives expressing the divine energy and living in the divine power that they have. But you, my friends, are learning to do that. You are learning to flick the switch and change your focus and be in the energy that's ever present in you and not to ignore it. You are learning to focus, as Susan has taught, to focus on the back burner where the spiritual people, where most people keep their spiritual thoughts and spiritual energies while they're living their physical life in their front burner. You are learning to switch to the back one, and eventually you will be able to bring that energy forward so that you are walking in your daily life in your divine energy, in your divine presence, in your divine mindset. That is the goal for physical people, to live a spiritual life, even though they're in a physical body, but to embody that spiritual energy, to practice these spiritual teachings, to treat each other equally, and not to be in judgment of one another and not think this one's right and that one's wrong. No, those are the ways of the past. And as time marches forward, even though that's an illusion, but as time marches forward and you are more present in the divine age of knowledge, as we spoke about, as I used to teach about, this will be ever more present and more daily. It won't be the unique few people doing it. It will be more and more and more until the majority of people are living their lives this way. And that was foreseen thousands of years ago. And this is what is manifesting on the planet right now. And you, my friends, are the pioneers of this movement, because you are in the forefront of learning to become your divine crystalline energy, your one I am God presence in your physical body. on the earth plane. So this is why we are so overjoyed and so happy to see you take this giant step today. And because the more you use this recording, as you are calling it, the more you will start to experience the energy and not think it's some strange thing or strange condition. And the more you access it, the easier and quicker you can get into it. And so to the point that eventually you will be living in your daily lives in this energy and projecting it the way it should have been all these many centuries since humans began walking the planet. So we congratulate you for your flexibility, for being open to new teachings, for being able to not be stuck in the past and stuck in the old teachings, and having your feet free to step forward and not stuck in the cement as so many of your fellow human beings are. We applaud you for this, and we thank you for your courage and your dedication and for your perseverance to be the spiritual leaders of the New Age. So be it.
Thank you, Carl and friends, for being here. We love you. Our first question is from three of us, and it concerns the upcoming solar eclipse on Monday, April 8th. There is so much being said about it. What will happen during and after the eclipse, and what do we need to be aware of and or prepared for? Please share any insights from your perspective. Thank you.
Very early on in the human experience, people have attached fear and superstition to the phenomena you're about to experience. In ancient times, when people were not as scientifically knowledgeable as they are today, they thought the sun was being swallowed up. They thought it would be darkness forever and ever after the eclipse. They did not understand that this is actually a natural phenomena that happens every so often when the planet and the moon and the sun is all lined up in alignment to make this happen. So even today, there is a lot of superstitious ideas being floated about this event that is circulating on your planet, even though you are scientifically knowledgeable enough to know what is about to happen. With that being said, so what we're saying is there's a lot of baloney floating around about what's happening. However, with that being said, there is also the fact that what is about to happen is a very noticeable event. People know it's going to happen. People understand what's going to happen. So there is a lot of attention being drawn to it. And because of that, we in the world of spirit are taking advantage of the spotlight, or if you want to really say it, the unspotlight, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to go into darkness. And we are using this opportunity to advance a lot of changes at the time of your eclipse. You understand that the earth is going through vibrational frequencies and adjustments. And the energy, the frequencies of the planet are vibrating faster and faster and faster. And these frequencies have certain effects on people. Part of the effects is that for the people whose feet are in the cement, they're having a difficult time existing because they feel the changes, but they don't understand it and they don't know how to react to it. And it causes some rather bizarre and negative behavior in some of these people because it is driving them crazy, if you want to use that term. It is so disturbing to them, and they feel like they're getting out of control, and therefore they're acting out and causing all sorts of negative consequences on other people because because of their inflexibility. The people such as yourselves who are more flexible in their thinking are adjusting constantly to the fine tuning of energies that are happening. You are experiencing new things. You are exploring new concepts. It is opening the door to, especially for those who are in communication with the world of spirit or the spiritual realms, however you want to attune that. It is because your frequency is getting higher. More and more people are able to access information from our frequencies, and therefore it is influencing people that way. What will be happening during the eclipse is that it will be, how do you say it, modulating frequencies even further and doing some fine upgrades. Well, the term you use now is downloading, isn't it? You download things from the internet. Well, you're going to have lots of major downloads during the time of the internet. That is going to be changing frequencies, that are going to be putting things out into the ether waves that certain people will begin to pick up and start to have different kinds of thoughts than they ever had before. And it is being designed this way partially because people are anticipating that major changes are going to be happening because of the eclipse. So we are going to allow that manifestation to take place by adjusting the frequencies. Let me explain it this way. Okay, so suppose we say that on a normal basis, when the frequency changes, we turn the knob like 10 little degrees. Okay, and then later on we turn it up another little 10 degrees. Well, during the eclipse, we may go 25, 30 degree changes. We are planning to put through some major upgrades, well, you'd call it drastic compared to the 10 we were talking about. It's a much more significant change. These things are going to be occurring during the time of the eclipse when you are anticipating to change anyhow. And so we are going to be supplying that. As a result of that, there will be people who will find themselves radically changed in many ways. The medium that I'm speaking through has been sharing with you that in the past month, he has been experiencing rather significant changes because of using the recording, because he has been attuning, or not attuning, he has been in the one I am frequencies on a continuous basis, and it is having effects upon his physical body and his mental thinking and his emotional being and so forth. So what we're saying is with these upgrades, people are going to have similar kinds of changes happening to them because of that, because of the major upgrades that are coming through in the frequency that is going to be taking place during the time of the eclipse. So we ask you to be very cognizant of the fact that you need to be living in a sense of anticipation for change in the next few days, because the change is happening, the downloading is happening, and therefore certain things will begin to start to happen within people. A certain kind of like awakening, because they are suddenly reacting to frequencies that they were no longer, that were not really in existence before, or they were not accessing before. And therefore there will be major change. They will feel major changes, just like this instrument was talking about major changes in his life over the past month. So that is really what is taking place. And again, there is that many people are talking about things happening on the negative side of things, which some people are trying to create because of the eclipse. But we are telling you that this is a very positive experience that is about to happen. It is a major change of accessibility to higher frequencies, and it will open the doors to many new possibilities and many new changes that is designed by us to take place on your planet. So look to this event with great anticipation, with great appreciation, and with much knowingness that it is a major step in the evolutionary process of change, and a major step towards the realization for more people of the age of knowledge. Do you understand?
Thank you. Very interesting. Our next question is from Rhonda. With the current upheaval in the U.S. music industry, with the raid on Sean Combs / P. Diddy's homes, should we expect some serious follow-up and disclosure as a result of this? Thank you.
As the planet evolves, as the vibrations are increasing, the old ways will be breaking down, and the old methods of doing things will change. They will have to change because they will not exist in the future. The person that you are talking about was very much living a double life. His public life, he was an icon to certain people, but in his private life, he was doing things that were very dark and very unspiritual, for sure. It is the dark, unspiritual things that will be uncovered in his past of what he did. It will be exposed, as will many other people who also have been doing many unspiritual things to people. This is part of the shift that is happening, so that people, humanity, will start to understand that the people who have been in control of the masses and have been enslaving them in many different ways They are in the process of losing their control bit by bit by bit. It is not something that will be happening in a massive shift. It will not be like an earthquake. It will not be a sudden, oh, here's all these people doing all these terrible things. But bit by bit, it'll be exposed. And bit by bit, what people will be held accountable for their actions, and their practices will be stopped. Eventually, this will not only be people of celebrities, as you call them, people who are famous, who are in the music industries and entertainment and all that, but it will also be involved your political leaders. It will also involve your religious leaders, for all the negative sides of those institutions will also be exposed. And it will come a time when they will no longer be able to continue those types of practices, because people will not allow it. They will not allow the enslavement. They will stop listening to all that. And it was at that time of awakening that people such as yourselves will be sought out, because they will be looking for guidance on how to proceed and what to do without the religious leaders and without the politicians and without being enslaved to all these institutions and policies and things that have existed for eons and eons in time on this planet. The new age that is coming is a very much a age of enlightenment and an age of freedom of expression and of being. And when people come to the realization that they are God, and that each and every person is God, and no one God is better than another God. Everyone has the same amount of divine energy within them. Therefore, they will not allow anyone to enslave another person. They will not allow anyone to take advantage of another person, and human beings will begin to live in harmony the way it should have been many, many eons ago. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you. The next question is from Susan Yu. Was the earthquake in New Jersey and surrounding areas yesterday totally natural, or was it triggered by either the light or the dark side? Please explain, and thank you so much.
There has been much talk about certain people having control over the weather and causing certain phenomena such as fire, intentionally destroying many people and in many places and forests and things of that nature. And yes, the technology for that is true. It can happen. However, there are many beings, most of which do not reside on your planet, who want to see this planet restored to a place of peace and a place for the age of knowledge to exist. So they are also helping to combat what you call the dark side, and trying and to cancel out their efforts. The earthquake that you are talking about was a natural disaster, a natural process. It really wasn't a disaster. It was a natural process of the earth shifting its plates. As you know, this happens every so often. And it, at this point, happened on a different part of the planet. There have been many predictions about major earthquakes that will change the look of the planet because certain shorelines will disappear and the waters will rise and the shores will change. And there are many earth changes that will be happening, but most of those are happening on a what you would call a natural basis. You must understand that everything on this planet, everything in the universe is made of the divine crystalline energy, as you are learning. The Mother Earth is divine crystalline energy. She has been abused for eons of time. And as the frequencies of the planet are changing and going into a more spiritual aspect, so is Mother Earth ready to take back and restore and fix much of the destruction that has happened to her through human consumption of minerals and mining and so forth, and pollution and many, many aspects of the way human beings have not been taking care of the planet. Well, Mother Earth is going to have to fix herself and heal herself. But it does not make sense for her to do this while the planet is in such negative frequencies. But as it rises, there will become an opportunity for her to heal herself before the planet enters into the highest state where it is going, where the vibration is going. Do you understand?
Thank you. The next question is from Rhonda. With so many recent fires in Chile and the resulting death and destruction, is this man-made? And if so, why? Thank you.
The fires that you are asking about were set deliberately by certain human beings who feel that by creating that condition, they are gaining more control over the inhabitants that are there, and also by it's part of their control process, and they are seeking, they do not regard human life with any type of reverence. They do not seek the sacred part of that, because all they are focused on is their physical control and the physical body, and they do not even really consider that there is an afterlife or anything else. They just are living a very selfish existence and want to be the enslavers of people, and therefore they are doing these types of things to maintain their control. There will come to a point in time where they will be stopped and no longer be able to do this. But you must remember that every human being was given a right to free will, and therefore the people who are doing these dark things are living out their free will, because that is part of the opportunity of what the human experience has is you live out what you want to live out. However, there are consequences that will be faced by these people who are creating these situations, because no one has said to them that free will is a pass to do whatever you want without having to pay for it in some form or another at some point in time. So it will come to a point at some point where these people will understand that they have to face the consequences for their actions, and we will deeply regret that of the actions that they have taken in the past. Do you understand?
Thank you. The next question is from Susan Yu. Do all humans have wings in one of their etheric bodies, or do just some humans have wings? Any insight from your perspective is greatly valued. Thank you.
the whole concept of wings is a long misunderstanding of metaphysics. People with clairvoyant visions would see the energy around a person and try to describe that energy to someone who is not quite, who does not have the ability to see that. And that concept got translated into wings. What the people were seeing was very much what you were discussing before, with the chakra and the crown chakra opening into that funnel and that energy cascading down over the person. And that reminded, when that was described to certain people who had artistic ability, they said, well, that sounds like wings, and therefore there were wings behind certain people, and we made angels, and they were higher beings, and so on and so forth. It was mostly a misunderstanding. What the energy that was described was for the people they were describing were people who were more enlightened, and therefore their auric field was more expanded. Their light field was more expanded, because the soul energy is well, you can compare it to like a light bulb, if you wish. So that if a person is living a very spiritual life, they might have 1,000-watt light bulb that burning within them, and therefore they irradiate a lot of light out into their auric field, and therefore if their chakras are open, it even allows that energy, that light, to expand even further. And we are not necessarily talking about light as you see it, but light as frequency, so that people were feeling the frequency of that light, because they weren't seeing it, because they weren't clairvoyant, but they still could have that feeling of it. How many mediums talk about being clairsentient? They don't know how it happens, but they feel the energy, and they get information from it. And everyone is clairsentient. Everyone has these abilities to some extent. The meet people who are labeled mediums have it to an extent where they can communicate with those who are no longer have a physical body. But everyone has these senses of feeling, so they were feeling the energy from these people, and therefore they knew something was different, and they created all this mythology around it. And that is really what was occurring. So the people who was referring to people with rings are the more people who are living a more spiritual life, and therefore their energy frequency is a little bit higher, and therefore people can sense that, and that is what's going on here. Do you understand?
Thank you. The next question is from two people. Can you share any insight on what really took place with the cargo ship hitting the Baltimore bridge and the resulting collapse? Was it a strike by the dark side or the good guys? Thank you.
The incident you are talking about, what occurred because the people who designed that to happen wanted to cause a disruption in the transportation of goods. And this was one of their plans, to start to bring down that bridge. And their plans are to do others. However, there are already entities and forces that are working to protect the other places that were being considered to be threatened and working to protect them on a level that the physical people cannot see or hear or feel. Do you understand?
Thank you. Next question is from Rhonda. With Kate Middleton's breakdown and the fake AI photos and videos, can you shed any light on what will happen when Charles passes? And is this the beginning of the end for the British royal family? Thank you.
As we stated before, many of the political structures that are in place will be deteriorating, as there will become a time when the governments of your world will no longer exist, as people gain their freedom from them. The royal family will continue to exist, but they will not have political power. They will not be in a place of reverence as they have been for centuries of time. That doesn't mean the family will die out. It just means they will not have power. There are many current families in the continent of Europe that were royal families, but they do not have political powers anymore. They simply have the right to say that through their genealogy, they would have been royal if they would have been, if their governments had not changed. So the same will be happening to the royal family in England. They will come to a point where when Charles dies, his son will take over. But his son already has more modern ideas and realizes that the monarchy that existed on his grandmother's time and the time before that is no longer sustainable, because people will not put up with all of that anymore. So while the royal family while William will continue to be king for a while, he will not have, it'll be even more of a ceremonial position than his father, the current king. But it will not be, they will not be allowed to have this lavish lifestyle and all these palaces and all these things. It'll come to a point where they will be living a much scaled back life, much more in line with other people in their country, but they will still have the title of being king or queen and of the royal family, but the trappings of it will be so reduced that it will not have much meaning anymore until it totally disintegrates, as it will around the world, and people will live in freedom and in harmony once again. Do you understand?
Thank you. We have one last question from Rhonda. What is necessary in order for someone to meditate? Thank you.
The state of meditation is allowing yourself to disengage your mental minds. In other words, the thinking that happens, occurs, the thoughts that naturally cross one's mind, one learns to deflect, so that they are in a state of focus. So they are focusing on something. It can be a self-created thought. It could be listening to someone's guided meditation where they are told to see this and see that and experience certain things. It could be something as the recording that you are now using, where you are focusing your mind not so much on thoughts but on energy. So what is required is a certain discipline to harness. I should excuse me, to disengage the thoughts that come into the mind and to deflect them and to be in focus of something, whether it's your own energy, something you are focusing on yourself, or something you are listening to and being guided by. What is required is that discipline and to allow yourself to relax and to allow yourself to be able to not listen to the thoughts that come through. Because for many people, the thoughts come, but there's no focus put that is put upon them. So in other words, a thought might flash through the mind, and the person says, "Oh, Jay, just see or realize the thought, and then continue what they're doing." They ignore it, and that it takes some practice in order to be able to achieve that for some people, and that's what is required for meditation. Do you understand?
Thank you. And thank you all for being here with us. That is our last question. Thank you.
Again, it is our pleasure for us to be able to assist you in your questions and your times that you are living in, which bring up so many concerns and questions, and it is important, and we are glad to be able to sit and assist you. But we are more thrilled with the path that you have started today. And we encourage all of you here to take advantage of sitting with that recording on a regular basis. Again, it does not have to be every single day, but the more that you use it and the more that you can be in that energy, you will be opening doors to the unknown. You have no idea what you can access once you have harnessed your own God power that has resided in you for your entire life, but has been ignored for a good majority of your life. And once you learn to bring that forth and to use it, there is no stopping anything. For you become God and you create what you wish to create. And we only hope that the things that you create are for spiritual purposes, because some people use the energy for non-spiritual things too. But we are confident with the people who are here that this tool is in very good hands and will be used to assist not only yourselves, but for many people. Because when you learn how to go into that energy, you are also accessing yourself to divine knowledge and divine guidance. And so when people come with questions, as we have predicted people will in the days to come, you will be able to simply go into your energy, listen, and receive the answers to give to those people. And we are most pleased that you will be the way showers for so many in the future. With that, my friends, I am about to withdraw. My blessings to you and my love to you, and my deep gratitude to you for continuing on the spiritual path that I showed you so many years ago, but that you have followed so far from where I left you off into where you are going. But it fills me with much joy to have been just a beginning stepping stone for you years ago. And I am so full of joy and pride of how far you've come. And I can see how far you are going to go. And it is, I don't have words. My blessings to you. So be it.